Okay. So again, good morning, everyone. So if you recall, last year we have completed unit number 1 of discrete mathematics, that is logic and predicates, all the concept of logic and predicates, and also uploaded the PPT in your login portal. So today we are going to start the next unit, unit 2, is called lattice. The lattice is the second unit, is a part of discrete mathematics, and we are going to start second unit for you. In the beginning, what we are going to cover throughout these units, that is actually important, I'm going to discuss. First, we'll go for different types of relations. So relations is related to set. Okay. So those who know what is set, okay, that is going to be easily verified or easily describable what is actually relation is. Next is poset, partially ordered set. Next, two set or chain. Next, we'll go for hash diagram. Okay, hash diagram is slightly related with planar and non-planar graph. You can easily identify. Okay, when we will discuss hash diagram. Hash diagram is related to graph theory as well also. Then lattice as a partially ordered set or lattice as a poset. Then we'll go for properties of lattice. At last, we'll go for lattice as an algebraic system. So throughout this units, we are going to discuss some theoretical part, mainly theoretical part, which is actually applicable in cryptography and many more uh, congested computer system, where it's important to know what is lattice and its properties. So first thing we are going to know what is a power set. So write down the definition, all of you. What is a power set? So power set of a set A is the of all subset of A, and it's denoted by P of A. For an example, if you check this set A, check the set A equals to 1, 2, 3. It's given here 1, 2, 3. So what is the power set of A? So power set of A, we will consider all the subset of A. All the subset of A is going to be the power set of A. So what's the subset? If I talk about the phi, phi is the very first subset of phi is a subset of every set. Phi is a subset of every set. Phi means null set. Phi means null set. Null set. Null set means no elements belongs to that phi. Okay. So phi is a subset of every set by default. That's why phi will be included. Singleton 1. Obviously, we can say singleton 1 is a subset of 1, 2, 3. Singleton 1 is a subset of 1, 2, 3. Singleton 1, singleton 2, singleton 3 is a subset of 1, 2, 3. Similarly, double tone 1, 2, double tone 1, 2, 3, double tone 1, 3 is also subset of 1, 2, 3. And also A is a subset of itself. Every subset is a every set is a subset of itself. So A is a subset of itself. We can write. So this is the combination. This is the total combination of power sets. This is the total combination of power sets. So that is how we can explain what is the power set of a set is. Okay. And remember, if a set has n element, if a set A has n element, then this power set is having how many elements? 2 power n. How many elements? 2 power n. So in this case, A has how many elements? 1, 2, 3. 3 elements. So if you count the number of elements of P of A, power set of A, it's 2 power 3. That is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Similarly, if a set is having 5 elements, if a set is having 5 elements, the number of elements of its power set is 2 power 5. It is 64. Sorry, 32. 2 power 5 is 32. Okay, that is how we can calculate the number of elements of a power set. Next concept we are going to discuss, that is product set. For any set A, the collection of all possible order pair for any set A, the collection of all possible ordered pair X, Y. Okay, ordered pair is denoted by X and Y, where X and Y are the elements of A are called as product set of A and denoted by A cross A. It's denoted by A cross A. Okay, it's a product set. So I will take each and every element. Suppose for an example, let's take we will denote A cross A as product set, like a possible ordered pair, like X, Y, where X and Y belongs to A only. So example, let's go for this example. A equals to 1, 2, any set. Okay. So what are the possible ordered pair? That is your product set. All the possible ordered pair are, if I take 1, so I will write 1 and 2. So how many elements are there? 1 and 2. 1 and 2 from A. Another is 1 and 2 from A. Okay. So I will do cross product, right? I will do crossing. Crossing means how many order are possible? 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. These are the possibilities possible, and that is how we can calculate. Okay, cross product set or cross product of a set. Okay, product set of any given set is given like that manner. These are the very basic things which is actually applicable and useful for throughout the chapters. So please note down carefully. Next concept is what is a relation. Next concept is what is a relation. For a given set A, a subset R, okay, of product set, subset R of the product set A cross A is called a relation on A. For any given set A, a subset, any subset R, R is a subset of product set. R is a subset of product set A cross A is called the relation on A. How would I define? Let us consider a set A is a three tuple, that is ABC. Okay. Now we can say R. R is a relation. Why R is a relation? R is a subset of A cross A. Now A is a three tuple. Three tuple means how we can write A cross A. How we can write A cross A is A, B, C, A, B, C. How many possibilities are there? What is A cross A? Can anyone tell me what is A cross A? It's AA, AB, AC, right? So I will take AA, AB, AC. Then BA, BB, BC. Then CA, CB, CC. This is your A cross A, or cross product, or the product set of A. Now once I get the product set of A, now from here, from this set, if I take any subset, that subset is always a relation. So here I took a subset R from this set. So subset R is going to be AA, AB, AC, BC. AA, sorry, AA, AB, and BC. Okay, I took this one, these three. So this is a subset of A cross A, and that's why it's a relation on A. Okay, and how we can denote a relation? How we can denote a relation? We can easily write, whenever I can say A is related to B, A is related to B, A means two elements. Suppose I talk about AA. AA belongs to R means what? AA belongs to R means A related to A, means A and A. First element related to second element. Similarly, AB belongs to R. AB belongs to R means A related to B. Similarly, BC belongs to R means B related to C. So there are two types of notations you can write. Either you can write AB belongs to R, AB belongs to R means A related to B. Okay, both are equivalent. A, R, B. A, R, B means A is related to B through the relation. Or we can write A comma B belongs to R. Both are possible. Either you can write A comma B belongs to R, or you can write A, R, B. Okay. This is the notation how we can use for relation. Here, two relations are given, R1, R2, and R3. So R1 and R2 are the relation on A, but R3 is not a subset of A cross A, so R3 is not a relation. Now, if you observe, R1 is a subset of A cross A, B, 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 C. It is a subset of A cross A. R2 is also a subset of A cross A, C, B, B, C. But R3 is not a subset of A cross A because A minus A present, B minus C present, but minus A minus C is not a part of A cross A. So R3 is not a subset of A cross A, and hence we can say that R3 is not a relation, but R1 and R2 are example of relations. Now we'll go for some types of relations. Different types of relations are there. So we'll go for few types. First one is reflexive relations. What is a reflexive relation? A relation R is called a reflexive relation. Few relations are there. Okay, total 3 types of relations. I will come to know. Okay, also one more extra type is antisymmetry. I will let you know for each type and what is the use of that type of relations and how we can implement. So first type of relation is known as reflexive relation. So reflexive relation, a relation is called reflexive, means there is a reflex. Reflexive means there is a reflex. Okay. So reflex means A is related to A. If I take any elements on the set, take any elements on the set from the set A, okay, from the set A for all A, okay, if I take any elements from the set A, reflexive relation means A is related to A. That means A comma A belongs to R. Whenever this thing is true, then we can say reflexive relations holds true. For example, let's say A equals to ABC. A equals to ABC, then R means the relation R is equals to AA comma BB comma CC. Because how many elements are there? A, B, C, 3 different elements are there. Okay, so AA, BB, CC, this whole thing is a reflexive relation. So this relation R is a reflexive relation. Now you may ask me, sir, if I write only AA, BB, only AA and BB, is it a reflexive relation? No, it is not a reflexive relation. See, you can tell me, sir, A related to A, B related to B belongs to obviously they are related to each other. But what about C? What about C? Right? Because the definition is if A comma A belongs to R for all A belongs to A. For all A belongs to the set. Means for all elements belongs to the set. So if the set is having 3 elements A, B, C, for all 3 elements we have reflex. For all 3 elements we must have reflex. If I find at least one element for which we do not have reflex, we can say that is not reflexive. Here,
Excuse me, sir.
that is what reflexive relations is all about.
Excuse me, sir.
Now, what is R1? R1 is an example which is not a reflexive. As I told you, AA, BB present and BC present. But where is CC? Where is CC? CC not present. CC not present. That's why it is not a reflexive relations. Okay. So note it down, all of you, and write down C on chat box. Till now, if you have any doubts, do ask me. Otherwise, write down C on chat box. Quick C on chat box. All of you. And note it down quick. Joseph, from where you want to repeat? relation. Okay, so relation, see relation is a subset of product set. First of all, product set means A cross A. So every relation is a set. Every relation is a set which is a subset of product set, which is a subset of product set. First of all, is a subset of product set of A. So we can find a relation of any set. Whenever a set is given to you, we can find a relation. Okay, set means A. Any set A is given to you, we can find the relation. So first construct the relation. It's a subset of product set. I told you what is a product set. I hope it's clear now. Okay, so like this one, R is a subset of product set A cross A, A, B, B, C. Now what is the A? A is going to be A, B, C. A is going to be A, B, C. So what's the product set? A, B, A, C, B, A, B, 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 C, C, A, C, B, C, C. These are the product set. Now any subset containing from the product set is going to be the relation. R1 and R2 is a relation because this is a subset from the product set. But R3 is not a relation because A minus A present, B minus C. But you can find no elements present here which is minus C or minus A containing. Okay, that's why this R3 is not a relation. R3 is not a relation. Okay, all of you. Now, coming to the point, what is reflexive relation? Reflexive relation is a specific relation. Where R is a relation on a set A, capital A, if each and every elements are reflex of each other. Means A related to A related to A for all A belongs to capital A. Means how many elements present in the A I will check. So in this case here, how many elements present? 1, 2, 3. 3 elements present. So what is the relation? Relation should be AA, BB, CC. Apart from that, many elements can be there. Apart from that, let's say AA, BB, CC. Apart from that, we can write AC, CB. Those elements may be there. It doesn't matter. I will check whether all 3 elements reflex present or not. Reflex of all 3 elements A, B and C present or not. Reflex of A present, okay. Reflex of B present, okay. Reflex of C present, okay. Then it is a reflexive relation. But in case of R1, if you observe, in case of R1, reflex of A present, reflex of B present, but reflex of C does not present. Reflex of C not present. That's why it's not a reflexive relation. Is that clear now? All of you write down C on chat box. Quick C on chat box. Quick C on chat box, all of you. One answer from all of you. Quick. Otherwise, I will remove you from classroom. Quick. Okay. Okay. So let's proceed for the next example. Whenever it's a reflexive or not. So go for the example. Check whether the following relation on Z means integer, are reflexive or not. So example as first, the relation is given as x r y if x minus y is mod of x minus y is equals to even number. That means distance between x and y is an even number. Okay. So this is the relation given to you and the set is given as Z. What is the set? Z. Z means what is the Z? Z means from minus infinity to plus infinity. In between is -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. These are the whole numbers containing negative, positive, all. These are the integer. It's called Z. So this is a set is given to you. Now it's an infinite set, right? Now you may ask me, sir, how is it possible to check for infinite set? I cannot put each and every elements and check the relation reflexive or not. Check this is reflex or not. There is a reflex or not. There is a reflex or not. This is not possible, right? For infinite set. So for infinite set, for finite set is possible. I can check by plugging in each and every elements one by one. Okay. But for infinite set, it's not possible plugging in one by one. So I will assume any arbitrary element A, okay, any arbitrary elements A from the set Z. So I will assume any arbitrary element A from the set Z. A is the element from integer. Now I want to check, okay, I want to check whether A is having reflex or not. If A is having a reflex, A represents all elements of Z. A represents all elements of Z. So if I find the reflex of A, that means I can say all elements is having reflex, because A is any arbitrary elements of Z. Getting my point? Are you getting my point? Because A represents Z. Z means all integers. A represents Z, or A represents all integer. That means if we find the reflex of A, that means it is obviously true that for all elements we have a reflex. So we have to check A is related to A or not. So what I will do, A is related to, so obviously definition is X related to Y if and only if mod X minus Y is equals to even number. Okay. Now I want to check A related to A or not. I want to check A related to A or not. So what I will going to check? I will check, just replace X and Y by A and A. In place of X, I will put A. In place of Y, I will put A. So it's going to be A minus A. Now I will check the value is even number or not. If the value is even number, so it is a reflexive. So A minus A is 0, and 0 is an even number. 0 is an even number. So obviously A related to A, and that's why we can say R is reflexive. R is reflexive on Z. This is the way we will write. Okay, R is reflexive on Z. R is a reflexive relation. You can write R is a reflexive relation on where? On the set Z. Set is Z, and what is the relation? Relation is R. Set is Z. Relation is R. R is reflexive relation on Z. Is that clear? Write down C on chat box. Quick. Quick C on chat box if it is clear. Otherwise, ask your doubts. All right, very good. Okay, so this is the way we will write for integer A. Mod A minus A is even number, therefore R is a reflexive relation on Z. Next question, number 2. X is related to Y such that if xy greater than equals to 0, X is related to Y if xy greater than equals to 0, greater than or equals to 0. Again, same procedure. We'll take arbitrary A. We'll take any integer A from the set of integer, and we'll replace X and Y by A and A. So it's going to be A times A, that is A square. Obviously, A square is greater than equals to 0. So obviously, A square is greater than equals to 0, and hence we can say A related to A. Hence we can say A related to A. And hence we can say R is reflexive relation on Z. Straightforward process, Just whatever relation is given to you, just change the value from xy to A and A. Okay. Next question. Is it reflexive? Number 3. Is it reflexive? Number 3. Is that relation is reflexive? Okay, so it's not reflexive. So whenever I am saying no, it's not reflexive, then remember we cannot write it in general manner. We cannot generalize it. Means we cannot take A. In that case, we have to take any arbitrary, any fixed elements from integer. So you can take any fixed element. Let's say 5 belongs to Z. 5 belongs to Z means 5 times 5 is 25, which is not less than 0. 5 times 5, which is 25, is not less than 0, which means 5 is not related to 5. 5 is not related to 5, or we can say either you can write this, or we can write 5 comma 5 does not belongs to R. Both are possible, okay? Both are the suitable writing. 5 not related to 5 means 5 is not related to 5, or 5 comma 5 does not belongs to R. That means 5 not related to 5. So R is not a reflexive relation. That is how we can show. Okay. Okay. Let's go for next concept, that is called symmetric relation. The next type of relation is symmetric relations. First type was reflexive relation. Next type is symmetric relation. So when I can say relation is symmetric, a relation R is called symmetric relation on a set A if A comma B belongs to R, means A related to B, for A comma B belongs to A, and then obviously B related to A. Try to follow the definition. Definition is saying if A related to B, then B related to A, for AB belongs to the set A. Now this is the condition, that is if A related to B, then B related to A. If this condition not holding properly, then we can say it is not a symmetric relation. So what is symmetric relation? If A related to B, then B related to A. This condition holds properly, then the relation is symmetric. The condition holds not properly, then the relation is not symmetric. For an example, A equals to A, B and C. A equals to A, B, C. Okay. Now, just a minute. R is a relation AB, BA, CC. R is a relation AB, BA, and CC. Is a symmetric relation. Why is a symmetric relation? You tell me why is a symmetric relation? Because AB present. AB present means BA should be there. AB present means BA should be there. That means this is your symmetric part. What is the symmetric part of AB? BA. So BA present. BA present means AB should be there. So what is the symmetric part of AB? BA? AB is there. So A and BA both are symmetric to each other. They present. That means it holds true. Now we'll go for CC. CC present. What is the symmetric part of CC? CC again. If I took the symmetric part of C, it's the CC again, because both are sim. C related to C. That means C related to C present. Okay, so it will not harm the condition of symmetric relations. That's why CC present, and the symmetric part of CC is also present. That's why it's a symmetric relation. So each and every elements you have to check, and you have to check whether it's symmetric part present or not. If the symmetric part present, okay, it's a symmetric. If they're not present, then it's not symmetric. Clear? Like here, this example. This example is not a symmetric relation. AB present, symmetric part present. BA present, symmetric part present. BC present, where is the symmetric part? Where is the symmetric part of BC? It's not present. Symmetric part of BC is not present here. So that's why it's not a symmetric relations. Am I clear now? Am I clear now what is the symmetric relations? Tell me, write down C on chat box. Am I communicating with you? Write down C on chat box. Okay, okay. Clear? So each and every elements of the relations I have to check. If the symmetric part present, no, okay. If for any element, a single element, a symmetric part not present, that means it's not a symmetric relation. Now we'll go for anti-symmetric relations. Now, this is very important to understand the concept of symmetric and anti-symmetric separately. Okay, what is the difference between symmetric? Symmetric and basically many students tell me that symmetric and anti-symmetric are anti-part. I mean, just opposite of symmetric is anti-symmetric. No, opposite of symmetric is not anti-symmetric. I will tell you why. Okay, so the first concept, don't plug in your mind that opposite of symmetric is anti-symmetric. It's wrong. Okay, it's not true. So anti-symmetric relations is what? A relation is called anti-symmetric relations on set A. First thing we will check A comma B belongs to A and A not equals to B. The first condition should be there. A and B are not equal, distinct. A and B are distinct elements, I mean different elements. Okay. A and B are not equal. Then if A comma B belongs to R, means A related to B. If we can say A related to B, then B not related to A. That means B and A not in R. B not related to A, or you may say B comma A not belongs to R. These are the things we have to check. Take care. First thing is that distinct element must be there. Okay, A not equals to B. A and B both are distinct element. And then we check if AB present or not. If AB present, I will go for BA. BA should not be there. BA should not be there. If AB present, BA should not be there. If BA present, then it's not antisymmetric. BA not present, it can be antisymmetric. Yes, anyone want to ask me something? Okay. So, yes, who is it? Francis, want to ask me something? Francis? You are not audible, Francis. Okay. So here is the condition for A, B belongs to A not equals to B. Condition is that A related to B, then B not related to A. For an example, ABC is a set. Now ABC is a set. We'll go through with each and every element. First, I will go through with only we have to check the elements who are not equal to each other. Elements who are not equal to each other. That means AB. Not A and B both are distinct elements. So AB present. Since AB present, BA should not be there. Check where BA is there. So it's correct. Okay, it's holding the condition of antisymmetricity. AC there. Since AC present, CA should not be there. CA should not be there. Okay, getting my point? AC present, but CA should not be there. So it's holding the antisymmetricity. Okay. BB present. But condition is that I have to check only distinct element. So I will not check BB. So BB present or not doesn't matter for me for antisymmetricity. For antisymmetricity, BB present or CC present or AA present does not matter. Only thing matters the distinct element. Distinct element present, but its reflex or its symmetric elements not present. Distinct element present, but its symmetric elements not present. That is what we have to check. That's why it's called antisymmetric relation. Okay, this is why it is not antisymmetric. This is an antisymmetric, not it's an antisymmetric. Now this one is not antisymmetric because if you check AB present, A and B both are distinct, but its symmetric part is also present, BA. AB present, its symmetric part also present. So this is contradicting our definition of antisymmetricity. So this is contradicting our definition of antisymmetricity because AB present, but its symmetric part also present. You may say said BC also present, but BC symmetric part or BC not present. Yeah, that is okay. That is okay, but the contradicting part is also there, AB and BA. So that's why it's not antisymmetric relations because AB and BA both present. Relations are. Is that clear? All of you note down and write down C on chat box. Try to understand carefully. If you have questions, do ask me. David asking me AA, BB, both are symmetric and antisymmetric. Good question. AA, BB, yes, it is symmetric. It's symmetric and yes, antisymmetric by default. Correct, David. It's also antisymmetric by default because AB not AB, BC, I mean distinct element not present. Distinct element not present means by default it's antisymmetric. Very good thought. Well done. Any more question, please do ask me. Think these two things, okay? Not an easy task to understand first in the one go. Can one take BA, CA instead of inverse? Inverse, where is inverse? I didn't get your question, Joseph.
Hello, hello, sir.
BA, CA instead of inverse means?
Excuse me.
Are you talking about
Hello?
symmetric part?
Hello.
Yes, Joseph.
In the example of the first example of if A, set A, B, C, then R is equal to A, B, A, C, B, B.
First example? This
A,
example?
B, yeah.
A, B, then
A, C,
A, C, then
B, B.
B, B, yes. Then?
So if it is B, A,
Okay, if it is B, A,
C, A,
C, A,
then B, B.
B, B, yes.
Yeah. Is it still the antisymmetric relation?
No, still it is not antisymmetric. B present. Okay. Yes, it is antisymmetric. It is antisymmetric. Also antisymmetric. Yes. BA present, but AB not present. CA present, but AC not present. And BB present. BB is actually we are not looking for BB. So BB present doesn't matter. So it is antisymmetric. Yes, it is antisymmetric. Okay. All right. Let's go for a few examples. Check whether the following relations on Z are symmetric or not. Only you have to check the symmetricity. Okay. Not antisymmetricity. Only symmetricity. Check it. And right side is a question where you have to check antisymmetric or not. First question. X related to Y such that X minus Y mod of X minus Y is even number. So how to solve this type of question? First of all, we'll take two integers. Okay, because the set is integer, right? Because the set is integer, we'll take two integers x and y. If x related to y, then what we can write? X minus y is an even number. Mod of x minus y is an even number. So obviously we can write mod of y minus x is also even number, because inside mod, if you change the sign, doesn't matter. Inside mod, if you change the sign, doesn't matter. So mod of x minus y is even number. Obviously mod of y minus is also even number. By default it's true. Which means y are x, which means y related to x. So I started from x related to y and I ended up y are x. So I started from x related to y and ended up y are x. That means it's symmetric relations. So R is symmetric relations. Clear? For any xy belongs to integer. Similarly, for antisymmetry, it is the same question. Same question. If you check the antisymmetry, whether it is antisymmetric or not, what is going to be the answer? Same type, same step to follow. It's an even number, x minus y, mod of x minus y. Okay, xy belongs to integer. X related to y, mod of x minus y is an even number. Also, it implies mod of y minus x is an even number. It is not possible mod of y minus is an odd number. So y related to R. So R is not an antisymmetric. So better way, the better approach to give some example. Give some example. Whenever you are saying not antisymmetric, so better way to give an example. Here I didn't give you, but better way to give you an example. Let's take two integer whose difference is even number. Let's say 5 and 3. So 3 and 5 belongs to integer z, where 3 related to 5. 3 related to 5 because mod of 5 minus 3 is 2, which is even number. Mod of 5 minus 3 is 2, which is even number. Now, which implies mod of 3 minus 5, which is also true, which is not equals to, which is also even number. Which is also even number means 5 related to 3. So 3 related to 5, I started from 5 related to 3 and I ended up 3 related to 5. So this is why it is not antisymmetric. This is not antisymmetric, because antisymmetric, what is the condition to be an antisymmetric relation? To be an antisymmetric relation, it should be like x related to y, which implies y not related to x. X related to y, which implies y not related to x, but in this case, it's not holding properly. It's not holding properly, so obviously we can say that is not antisymmetric. Next part, number 2, check whether it's symmetric or not. X related to y if x greater than equals to y. X related to y if x greater than equals to y. So we have to check whether it is symmetric or not. Straightforward, take two integers, x and y. If x related to y, then x greater than equals to y, which can, it's obvious that y cannot be greater than equals to x. Y cannot be greater than equals to x, right? Because x is greater than equals to y, so y cannot be greater than equals to x. So obviously y is not related to x. But I started with x related to y, but y is not related to x. Better if you go with the example. Okay, you can also write with an example. Example is always better because it's not related. We are showing it's not symmetric. We are showing it's not symmetric. So whenever we are showing it's not symmetric, always go with an example. Theoretically okay if you go like that manner, theoretically okay. Apart from that, also you can go with an examples. Okay, similarly for this example, is it antisymmetric or not? You have to check. You have to check is it antisymmetric or not. Straightforward, it is antisymmetric. Why? Two integers x and y belongs to z. If xy related to each other, x or y, then x is greater than equals to y. So y cannot be greater than equals to x. That means y is not related to x, and that is the reason why R is antisymmetric on Z. Okay, that is all for today. Try to revise these concepts up to symmetric and antisymmetric relations. All the concepts are very important. Okay, try to grab the each and every small concept. Why it is symmetric, why it is not antisymmetric, why it is antisymmetric, why it is not symmetric, like this type of things. Okay, it's very interesting. We will go for more things on next class. Have a nice day. I will take the attendance from next. I think next class is of Upasana ma'am, right? So I will ask Upasana ma'am to take the attendance, and I will take it from her. So all of you have to present the class of Upasana ma'am. If anyone absent in the class of Upasana ma'am, he or she will be absent in my class also. Okay, so you can leave now. Have a nice day. See you.